Namaskar and welcome to Indian Diplomacy, show on Doordarshan, India's national television channel about Indian foreign policy, India's international relations and India's growing impact on different regions and issue areas of the world. Viewers, in this episode we are taking up the legend of our great epic, the Ramayana, and how it has influenced so many parts of Asia and beyond, and why it has been such an inspiration for so many people and believers around the world. And what does this say about India's rise as a civilizational state? To discuss this, let me introduce you to a living legend who is joining me today in the studio, none other than Padma Vibhushan Dr. Sonal Mansingh.
Thank you.
Dr. Sonal Mansingh is a member of parliament from the Rajya Sabha and world-renowned exponent of Odissi and Bharatanatyam dance, major classical dance forms of India, and a cultural ambassador for India who has actually made us proud on the world stage. Ma'am, so grateful that you have joined us.
Thank you so much. Jai Sreeram.
Jai Sreeram is the chant. And ma'am, when we think about the event of January 22nd, there's so much anticipation and expectation for the consecration of the deity in Ayodhya, in the birthplace of Lord Rama. But this has reverberations globally. And if you think about it, there are so many parts of the world that have been, deeply and, in a very personally and socially been impacted by our great epic, the Ramayana. So it's in that context, I'd like you to reflect on what is it that this eternal, Mahakavya, as we call it, the great epic, the great poem, why has it resonated so much, and why has it been for millennia been like the spiritual basis for our civilization and its impact?
It is, of course, a great epic poem. But let's not forget, it is also itihasa. It is also history. And we call it Puran, something that happened long ago, and it has remained in collective memory of the people. That is the primary importance. Itihasa. You have really hit upon the wonderful spread of the story of Sri Ram. Valmiki wrote the Ramayana, who was a contemporary of Sri Ram. So it is, as we say in Hindi, aankho dekha. It is not something...
A live commentary.
Live, yes. Contemporary commentary. Number two. Number three, that something that has everything in it. All the values, beliefs, concepts, what is niti, history, iconography, what all we can imagine, it's all there in one. Also, that apart from Southeast Asia, South Asia and other parts of the world, Ramayana has made such an impact on the Indian subcontinent.
Of course.
Right from north to east, south, west, and everywhere the story of Rama beautifully is interpreted in different ways in their own way. So Ramayana of Valmiki gathers more force, more color, more, what shall I say, acceptance and spread in India itself. And then, of course, it has gone. Now, Sri Lanka,
yes,
it is deeply connected with the Ramayana. So many things happen there. In fact, the decisive battle with Ravana happened there. And Devi Sita, the heroine of Ramayana, she was incarcerated there in Ravana's garden.
Now, ma'am, we have tried, as part of our bilateral relationship with Sri Lanka, we have, under the Modi administration, we have reinvigorated the Ramayana trail, and some of the important, sacred places with the legend in Sri Lanka, like the Koneswaram temple, which is in Trincomalee. These are all very central to the Ramayana legend and to the history. And the Sri Lankans have agreed to, ramp up the connectivity with the mainland of India and also further north in Nepal with the Janakpur,
Yes.
which is again an important place, a site in South Asia for Ramayana. We have been trying to create this Ramayana circuit or trail as part of our diplomacy as well.
I must add a few very interesting, exciting points. You mentioned Janakpur in Nepal. For this consecration of the Ram Lalla idol on 22nd January, Nepal has sent so much gold and silver and clothes and utensils, the tradition of India when the daughter is married and takes all this with her to the in-laws. Women of Nepal have come and they are singing songs and calling Rama their son-in-law and saying, how did you do that and what did you do to our daughter and you took our daughter away. It's so beautiful. If you see the trail, first Ayodhya, I think very few may know or they know, Princess Ratna Suri of Ayodhya married to the king of Korea.
Correct.
Who can imagine that the king had a dream and he sent a envoy, and from here with all the things she was sent off.
Yes.
In those years, can you imagine?
And ma'am, in fact, talking of Korea, few years ago, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath hosted the then First Lady of South Korea, and she actually came and visited some of the places where they also trace the royal dynasties in some of these countries, Korea, in Thailand, to Ayodhya.
But Thailand, the dynasty is called the Rama dynasty.
Correct. And there is Ayutthaya, a place
Ayodhya
in,
there,
which is
and the king is also called Rama 8th, Rama 9th and all that.
correct.
I think just a few years ago, the chief of the royal clan of Ayodhya was formally invited to Korea.
Correct.
And he also took, with him the presents and gifts and came back with gifts. So, right in Indonesia, Thailand, Laos,
Cambodia,
Cambodia, Singapore, Malaysia, you can think of all these areas where Ramayana is like, it's just a living thing. And their ballets and their dances and the music, they are all performing. In fact, there's a Ramayana Mela, 3 days long, where all these troops will be coming.
Correct.
And I would say that it is just not itihasa alone, history alone, but it's a living being which has a place in every heart of Indian, and even, as you said, the Vistara, the Spanish, the canvas is so big, even in Central Asia.
Correct.
Even in Central Asia.
And ma'am, the most remarkable aspect about the spread is that in countries which are today Muslim majority, like Indonesia, Buddhist majority, Cambodia, and wherever there are other faiths, in spite of that, the Ramayana has made its way into the hearts of their social existence and their way of life and their culture. This influence, and if you look at the Southeast Asian region, we call it Indochina, right? It's meaning historically they have had influences from the Sinic, from the Chinese civilization, but also from our side. And you, of course, been there. You've performed in these places. And they revere Ramayana, and that's something. I think if you think about India's soft power, there's nothing bigger than Ramayana and Lord Rama, right?
I like that word, soft power, but I have been calling it strong power, because things that are conveyed through culture, they go straight to the heart. This plays tricks, the brain, the mind. This doesn't play tricks. It's honest. And when the hearts are opened and beautiful messages go through our art forms, our performing arts, they stay there. You rightly said that having performed in about 90 countries, the story of Rama has such resonances. It's amazing, even in Africa.
Right.
Now, who would have imagined? But then, at the same time, let us think that pyramids were built, they say 10,000 years ago, 8,000 years ago. And Ramayana is contemporary to that. It's not 5,000. It's much more than that. It is Treta Yuga, the Treta Eon. And that eonic cycle, people say now after studying through the Graha Nakshatras, the placement of the stars. And that's a science in itself.
Ma'am, talking of the Asia as a whole, where Ramayana has been influenced, you are, of course, one of the greatest, gurus and exponents of classical dance. But when you see the way it's been adapted, and that's something very interesting. In Laos, there is one form of Ramayana that's performed as ballet. In Indonesia, in Bali, it's a different one, and so on. The variations that have come, it seems like one of the strengths of the Ramayana and of the story of Lord Rama is that it's quite adaptable to different contexts. And it's not like we are saying there's only one holy book and this is the only, you have to all follow. In the monotheistic traditions, generally they insist that this is it and, you cannot deviate from it. But I think the fluidity and the flexibility, and please reflect on that. And also as a great dancer, when you use the Ramayana themes, in your performances and all, how have they been received internationally?
Even within India, the Ramcharitmanas of Tulsidas is very recent, considering the millennia. It is in the time of Akbar in North India.
Correct.
It was written in Varanasi by the ghat of the Ganga river. It's quite different from Valmiki Ramayana.
Correct.
Kamba Ramayana in South India.
Tamil Nadu, yeah.
Kamba Ramayana, Kambar, he was the poet. That is different. There is Geet Ramayana, there is Ananda Ramayana. In every part of India, there are different versions, yet the core is the same. It's amazing. Then I was reflecting today that how come this Sri Rama, who is the Ramo Murtimanta hai Dharma ka, he is the Vigrahavan. He is the personification of Dharma, Dharayati ti Dharma, the cosmic law. He is the very personification. And he holds the bow and the arrow. This is his iconography. Why? Is he always fighting? Yes. He is fighting adharma. He is fighting all those things which go against the cosmic law. And therefore, at the same time, he is the one who brings peace. He is the one who teaches how to walk on the path of dharma. And yet he holds the bow and the arrow. But you never see his eyes angry. In any painting, in any sculpture, in any literature, Ram got angry? No. The younger brother Lakshmana got angry. Rama is Karuna Murti. And Rama is depicted as the handsomest man, as a hero, muscles rippling, graceful body, long arms, and lotus petal eyes, the elongated eyes. And what is the color of the body? It's like the blue lotus. If you watch the flame has bluish tinge. It's a swarthy blue, the coppery blue, that of the Tejas, that luster.
Yes.
Just imagine what we get from this one Sri Ram. Ideal son, ideal brother, ideal friend, ideal husband, ideal king.
Yeah, he's known as Maryada Purushottam,
Yes.
somebody who embodies certain great values.
Yes.
And probably that is why, I've been reading about the spread of the Ramayana across the world, and in many societies, scholars, ethnographers, religious historians, theologians, a lot of sociologists, they say that people identify with Lord Rama because of these virtues, and because all of us ordinary mortals want to, at least imbibe some of those values and virtues and implement them. So in that sense, it's a great moral, force in the world, right? And it's in that sense, he's also an embodiment of India, because we have never spread our, values through sword or through conquest or through violence, right? So our, our Ramayana has gone. How did it go? For example, from the east coast of India, from what is today Odisha, Bengal, They had the Bali Jatra.
Jatra.
Traders,
Yeah.
merchants,
Yeah.
people, civilians,
Yes.
traveling across the region.
Yes.
We are not forcing it upon anybody. We are not, throwing money around to buy
No.
people's souls.
Correct.
We are not converting anybody. They can
No.
remain Muslims or Christians or Buddhists. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
But still, the Ramayana has has made it into their heart. So I think that is the greatest thing.
As I said earlier, you used the word now heart. It goes to the heart. The more you think about it, you get a little nervous. Oh, how can I be like Ram? Rama is great. I can't follow all that he did. No. Rama was wonderful. Rama is yours. Make him your own. He sits within you. Rama, Rama. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. That's it. I don't think that one needs to do much more, become a great scholar, great this, great that. Because, as you said, I've been dancing for more than 6 decades. The more I look at it, the more I experience it, the more it's so easy, it's so beautiful. It just, it approaches you and you accept it. That's it. You may not have read Ramayana, you may not have read Ramcharitmanas, doesn't matter. But the poetic Rama, the beautiful Rama, the Nitivan Rama, the friend Rama, the guide Rama, he's with you.
Yeah,
So-
and the philosophical essence of this is so powerful. It seems that voluntarily people imbibe this. No matter which religious tradition they belong to.
Yeah.
And that's the greatness of India, isn't it? In that sense, our External Affairs Minister, Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar, was saying that, Krishna and Hanuman are our greatest diplomats. But in that sense, if you look at it, Rama is our greatest calling card, because there's no more virtuous king or ruler. And Dr. Jaishankar also talked about the Rama Rajya, the idea of a well-governed nation state. That also, I was listening to Thai and Cambodian and other scholars, and they were saying that this idea of a virtuous kingship or monarchy that actually delivers to the people, which is not oppressive and which is well governed. Nowadays we have this jargon, the good governance, global governance, all these things. But Dr. Jaishankar, in his new book, Why Bharat Matters, is actually saying that Rama Rajya is the model for India's model for global governance also.
Yes.
And that sense, it's not only individuals or societies, but even at the level of states and governments,
Yes.
where the principles of Ramayana can be used and propagated to make it the state-society relationship and the citizens, and make the rulers accountable to the citizens. And on that count, justice, all these are part of the Ramayana, isn't it?
So let's say that our, I would say, wonderful Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, his one-line sutra has been advantages and everything labha should reach the last person. Equitable. And I think they have succeeded a lot in employing these schemes. You talk of Ramarajya, we've been talking about Ramarajya since eternity. But to put it into practice in a country like India, with 6 main religions, with so many languages, with so many different cultural communities, and on and on and on, it's not an easy job. So Ramarajya, I'm actually seeing it being employed. I see Ramarajya coming. Because these advantages, these schemes are reaching across the board, all over India. Now, if that is not Ramarajya, the significance of Ramarajya, then what is?
Yeah, so it's not just a cultural renaissance that we are seeing.
Social.
Along with it, there is socio-economic development and all these things that go hand in hand to promote the Ramarajya idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But culture plays a very big part. I repeat it, and I'm so glad that you included me in this dialogue, because culture, as again I say, is a strong power. All these things, when depicted through culture, they also reach each and every one, even those who have hard hearts. But when it goes to culture, they say, acha, acha, good, yes, 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 we agree. I've seen that happening.
Greater acceptability.
Acceptability is much more, and therefore there's going to be a 45-day festival. I'm dancing at the end of it on 10th March in the temple, within the temple, perhaps in front of Sanctum Sanctorum. And I'm so excited about it.
I think one of the reasons Ramayana has spread in Asia, especially in the Buddhist parts of the world, is because they have the notion of the dharma,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And in many in some of these countries, they actually believe that Rama was a pre-incarnation of Gautama Buddha also. You know, they have all these myths and legends woven in, and the notion of dharma, Hindu dharma or the Buddhist dharma, they're so close. And in the Modi era, we have also done a lot of Buddhist diplomacy to reach out to these countries. It's not exclusively only Ramayana
There's
that we are
Buddhist
promoting.
circuit also.
That's also there along with Ramayana trail. So it looks like finally India's rise as a civilizational power is happening, ma'am. I mean, in front of our eyes.
Yes.
You already spoke about Rama Rajya, it's happening domestically.
Yes.
But on the world stage, here is a country that's very confident about its core cultural values, is not hiding them behind a curtain, and is actually coming out and saying, you know, this is what I am, you know. This is the glory of India, the greatness of India, and all these moral values and the philosophy that we spoke about. And, you know, it's a gift for the whole of humanity.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? So,
Absolutely.
ultimately, the dharma and the dhamma, I'd like you to reflect on that, ma'am.
Now, that is a big concept. I would say that, first of all, the inclusivity of the Indian thought, whether it's Buddha or Mahavira, the 24 Tirthankaras of the Jains, whatever, it has been all inclusive. And in Sri Ram, we see that. It's all inclusive. Whether he goes to Shabari, the forest dweller, or whether he hugs Nishad, the Kevat, the one who took them across the Ganga, the boat, what do you call him? I forget. Whoever it was. So Dhamma, or as it's called in Pali, Buddhists use that word, Dharma is the same. Dharayati iti dharma, very simply. That which upholds creation. Who cosmic laws uphold the creation? And when those cosmic laws are not adhered to, then there is catastrophe. Then things begin to become imbalanced. So again, to restore balance, dharma, and therefore Ramo Vigrahavana Dharmaha. Again I come to that he had to come.
To
we say
restore.
he's divine.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows, who's suprahuman, Mahamanav, is divine.
Absolutely.
We all have divine qualities, but we don't know. Here the divine qualities are all alive. And therefore, dharma is very sukshma, very subtle, and yet dharma in our daily lives has to be adhered to.
Absolutely. Ma'am, last word on the Ramayana spread. I mean, through our Indian Council for Cultural Relations and through the Ministry of External Affairs, there have been a lot of initiatives to increase awareness about the Ramayana in different parts of the world. And there are exponents of Ramayana both in a literary form but also as a performing art and in fine arts, in painting, in so many things. And we continue to want this Rama consciousness, you know, to spread. And in a way, it is the Bharat consciousness also that comes behind the Rama consciousness. And I think the greater acceptability is gaining worldwide. The cultural diplomacy initiatives we have taken, you yourself have performed in so many countries, including on Ramayana themes. What more do you think we should continue doing to make sure that the legend of Rama and also the greatness of Rama continues to be our banner on the world stage, you know, where people say that this is the gift of India to the whole of humanity?
You have, I think, described everything, culture, diplomacy, that's politics, that's sociology, that's everything. I think we need to just continue it and not forget after this great event is over. Human memory can be very short-lived. And it is not an event. It is a yajna. it is a great sacrifice. It's a great ceremony. And Rama, as the first king of India, Jambu Dvipa, the Jaya Dvipa it was called, that consecration, reconsecration is happening. And therefore, with splendor and pomp, as befits a king. But we need to keep reminding ourselves, reminding each other. We have to be, what shall I say, submerged, be submerged in it. Ye ho gaya, you know, like the shawl I will, and then I'll leave it. No. It's a daily affair of our lives. Then you will see even more the stronger influence, ongoing influence, which is for the good of the humanity, which is good for the Vishwa. So, with these sentiments, I would like to reiterate, Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai. I bow to the husband of Siya, who's Sita. And we believe that without taking the name of the Shakti, the female, the eternal feminine, it's not complete.
Absolutely.
So when you say Sri Ram, Sri is also Shakti. Sri is symbolic of that. So Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram, viewers, Dr. Sonal Mansingh says Jai Shri Ram, and actually the thing is, from this discussion, what we have realized is the Ramayana's influence is so deep and pervasive because of its intrinsic strengths and special qualities. And we must focus on them. And of course, as Dr. Mansingh is saying, we must want to continue to propagate and promote the idea of a virtuous rule, idea of a moral and simple lifestyle. Most of the things that make India a spiritual leader in the world are already encapsulated in the Ramayana, and I think we have tried to bring this out for not only Indian audiences, for the world through this discussion. I want to thank Padma Vibhushan Dr. Sonal Mansingh. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It's a great honor to have you here.
I thank you for bringing me in and this wonderful dialogue. Again, I wish you all the best, and through you to all your audiences, the best of Sri Rama.
Viewers, the world is changing. India is changing. India has become more self-confident about its core civilizational values in the Narendra Modi era, and that's how Jai Shri Ram has now become not just a religious or a spiritual chant, but something that talks to our civilizational greatness all over the world. India is now being recognized and accepted for what it really is. The essence of India is coming out through this civilizational state. So the Ramayana continues to influence the whole of humanity in some way or the other, and India is there as a nation state, as a civilizational state, to help that Rama consciousness to grow. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time. Until then, take care.